Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine Jackson, the National Training Manager for Burts Canada. What I feel I wanted to share with you today were 4 tips that I think hopefully are helpful for you in your endeavors to be socially responsible and sustainable. Number 1 would be to identify your values. Number 2, be authentic. 3, cultivate diversity. And 4, communicate. So I'll just elaborate a little bit on those. So identify your values. So values are something that I think we should identify individually. I know it's benefited myself dramatically, but also for your business. And values are different from goals. So if you're setting a goal, like Burt's Bees, for example, has a goal to have all our products 100% natural, to reduce our water use, our electricity use, our greenhouse gas emissions. Those are goals. But your values are what is your core, what really drives you. So personally, I did a brainstorming session and what are my values. I had 10 or 20 things and I trimmed it down till my top 3 values are health and wellness, family and friends, and nature. And so anytime I have a decision in life, I go back to my values to see if it's aligned. So if I say I get a job offer, I live in Aurora. So if I got a job offer in Guelph, I'm like, well, is that aligned with my values? Is that going to allow me time to stay healthy and exercise? And is that going to be too much of a commute away from my family? So no, I wouldn't even consider it. So if you're developing your business values, it's going to be a compass for you to always go back to and judge the next decision you're making based on those values. And as I say, I think it's quite different from goals, which are equally important. Number 2 is be authentic. So Burt's Bees has this amazing story that really is just our DNA, that we couldn't find a more authentic brand. So there really is a Burt, or there was. Sadly, he did pass away July 2015. But the story of Burt's Bees is there was a beekeeper named Burt. He wanted to live off the grid. He lived in a 10 by 14 little cabin with no running water, electricity. He just wanted to live simply in harmony with nature, was, selling jars of honey to kind of make a living. And he one day happened to pick up a hitchhiker named Roxanne Quimby. It's always a woman who changes your life, right, guys? And from there, it was like a big V-turn. She was very entrepreneurial, very artistic, and suggested that they work together to make beeswax candles from the beeswax from his honey hives. And from there, they started making hand salves and lip balms. So the authenticity of Burt's Bees is really valued by our consumers. When people learn the story, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. That's even better now, because they set the stage for what we are as a brand. It wasn't a brand that was dreamt up in a corporate boardroom of let's be green because that's on trend. So whatever your path is for your business, just, own your story and share that out, because people really love that authenticity. And in today's market, it's become more and more important. So if you're looking at Gen Zs, millennials, they make their purchasing decisions based on their values and judging whether companies are truly authentic or not. 67% of Gen Zs will stop purchasing from a company if it's not aligned with their values. So it's really important for your business, not just for that feel-good feeling. Next, so that's first 2, and then cultivate diversity within your teams. That's really important, obviously, to have strengths from different areas. You don't want everyone to be a bean counter. You don't want everyone to be a marketing genius. You need to have a diversity of skills. But what I do think is important is that you have shared values, going back to that first point about having your values really grounded. And if your team members that you're hiring and you're surrounding yourself with have the same values, it's going to make decisions a little bit easier going forward if everyone agrees that having recycled or recyclable packaging is important to the business, for example, easy example. And then lastly is communicate and educate. So it's great if you are very authentic and you're 100% natural and you're using vegetable ink dyes on your labels and your packaging is, with Burt's Bees, we're 37.1% post-consumer recycled packaging. that's all great if your business has all these check boxes, but if you're not communicating it out to your market, to your partners, to your consumers, it's not going to really progress you forward. So not only communicate, but educate. So, when I'm doing presentations or education sessions for customers, this is a very simple example, but if I just said our packaging is 37% PCR and continued on, I'm assuming everyone knows what that means, but maybe they don't. So always be thinking, what do I need to educate these people on, and why is it important? So post-consumer recycled packaging means the packaging had a previous life. It might have been a cutting board or a milk jug, or, don't assume that your audience knows what you know, because you have expertise in your zone, right? So communicating and educating. And if your team's values are not all aligned, you have to spend more time educating them on changing behavior, and that's tough. But if you're really passionate about what you're doing, it's going to come through as being authentic, and people will appreciate that. And I think it really will take you further down the path that you choose to go on. Thank you.